Reports are stating that a £20 million bid has been rejected for Emerson Royal, the very latest on Antonio Nusa. Reports are stating that Juventus still want midfielder Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Sandro and Gomez on Richarlison. Leeds United want to sign Joe Rodon on a permanent deal. Reports are stating that Spurs are happy to let Ryan Sessegnon and Brian Hill leave in this January transfer window. And the Spurs women have just beaten West Ham in a 7-goal thriller.
Chris Cowlin. Fan cams. Club news. Transfer news. Match previews. Legend interviews. Spurs women. Press conferences. Covering everything Tottenham and England.
Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all keeping well. This is another episode of Tottenham News, where I'll be going through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit the subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. And I'd just like to say a big thank you to everybody who does subscribe on YouTube. We are now up to 109,000 subscribers. So thank you so much for all of your support. Let's start by talking about a couple of results in the Premier League from Sunday afternoon. Sheffield United 2, West Ham United 2 and Bournemouth 0, Liverpool 4. Tottenham Hotspur remain 5th in the Premier League table. We have 40 points from 21 matches. Liverpool now extend their lead at the top. They have played 21 matches. They have 48 points. So Spurs are now 8 points off top spot. West Ham are just behind Tottenham with 35 points from 21 matches. There will be one other Premier League game taking place this coming week, and that will take place on Monday, the 22nd of January. Brighton will take on Wolves. Of course, Tottenham's next game in competitive competition is in the FA Cup this coming Friday against Manchester City at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the FA Cup fourth round, 8 p.m. kickoff. Former Tottenham Hotspur and Brazil stars Aurelio Gomez and Sandro have been talking about Tottenham Hotspur and the season so far. Sandro has said, "I'm a Spurs fan, as you know. I always try to be at the matches, always try to support Tottenham. I'm confident. It's a bit like Richarlison. I think that Spurs will finish strongly this season. The team has suffered a lot with injuries, but players are coming back. We did well in the window, and it is exciting. We have an amazing manager. I want more." And former Spurs goalkeeper Aurelio Gomez has come out and said the way that Spurs play, the team is not afraid to play high. And I think that the team is still missing key players. Mickey van der Ven is back, which I think he is an amazing player. Still very young. Hopefully he will be okay for the rest of the season. It's all set up for an amazing end to the season. Both of the former Tottenham Hotspur players were spoken out about fellow countryman Richarlison. Gomez said, "It's exactly what I said before. Spurs are going to see a great player. Spurs have signed a great player. Unfortunately, things didn't work out well from the beginning. But he has had some tough times. He needs to be happy to perform. He enjoys football. He gives his all, but things weren't working for him. Don't forget he was injured as well, but he just wanted to play as well. Eventually, he had the operation, and now he is the player everyone expected." Sandro has spoken out about Richarlison and said, "I'm happy for him. I've always said to everyone, guys, he will come back strong. He just needed to be happy again." You could see he was frustrated. I could see that. We could all see he wasn't right. As a Brazilian, I always dreamed for Spurs to have Brazilian players representing us. I'm so happy for him. He's a great guy. We're not friends as such, but I always speak to him when I see him and just want him to do well. On Sunday, it was reported by the Sun newspaper that Saudi Pro League club Al Nassr have submitted a bid to Tottenham Hotspur for defender Emerson Royal. Tottenham have rejected the bid from Al Nassr. It is understood to be around £20 million. But the Sun newspaper have stated that Emerson Royal is happy at Spurs, but Al Nassr are believed to be readying another offer as they want their man. A little bit more on Emerson Royal. Broadcaster and sports journalist Ben Jacobs has stated that he understands Al Nassr haven't given up on the Emerson Royal deal. Although he is happy at Spurs, Spurs rejected a bid which was close to €25 million. Spurs did not counter with any number. Now, of course, Eric Dyer is on loan from Tottenham Hotspur to Bayern Munich for the rest of the season. Then, of course, he is out of contract. Eric Dyer was an unused sub on Sunday afternoon as Bayern Munich lost 1-0 at home in the Bundesliga. Sky Sports Germany have just reported that Pierre-Emile Højbjerg is still open for a new challenge in this January transfer window as he wants to play on a regular basis. He had 90 minutes against Manchester United last weekend in the Premier League, but he wants more. He wants to play regular first-team football. Talks and ideas about a permanent deal or a loan with an obligation to buy. A loan with an option to buy is not an option for Tottenham Hotspur chairman Daniel Levy. Italian club Juventus are still interested in the 28-year-old defensive midfielder, but Bayern Munich are not involved at this stage. Now, the very latest on the possible deal for Antonio Nusa, Club Brugge to Tottenham Hotspur. Of course, the 18-year-old has been heavily linked to Tottenham in recent days. Fabrizio Romano has stated that Antonio Nusa deal will enter into key stages soon as there are a new round of talks scheduled between Tottenham and Club Brugge. Spurs know that other clubs are interested and want to push as soon as possible. Nusa does not want to leave Club Brugge in this January transfer window, but a deal could be agreed now for the summer. Sports broadcaster and journalist Ben Jacobs has also reported on the Antonio Nusa deal. He has stated advanced talks continue between the clubs. Buy with loan back still being discussed. Whatever the structure, Antonio Nusa won't move to a new club in this January transfer window, and Spurs are not the only club looking at the player. Leeds United boss Daniel Farke has come out and said that he would like Leeds United to sign Joe Rodon on a permanent deal. Of course, Joe Rodon is currently on loan until the end of the season at Elland Road. Farke said, behind the scenes we are working. There is no doubt we are more than happy with Joe. He is growing into this club more and more. A leader role. You see how much it means to him to wear the white shirt. He is just happy to be here. He is crucial for us. We are more than happy. We would like him to stay for longer, but right now it is not an urgent topic. He will stay with us until the end of the season. The Football Insider have just reported that Tottenham Hotspur plan on letting go a number of fringe squad players this month before bringing in a new midfielder late on in the window. Following several first-team departures already this month, the club are eager for more to leave before signing a central midfielder, their priority position. The Football Insider have stated that Tottenham are willing to listen to offers for Ryan Sessegnon and Brian Hill this month. Neither have featured regularly this season, and the club are happy to let them go if appropriate offers are received. And finally, the Tottenham Hotspur women beat West Ham United 4-3 away in the WSL on Sunday evening. 2 goals from Clinton and goals from Bizet and Naz gave Tottenham Hotspur the 3 points. The Spurs women remain 6th in the WSL table. We are now only 7 points away from the top 3, which of course are those Champions League spots. The next couple of fixtures for the Tottenham Hotspur women, they are in action on Thursday evening away at Southampton in the FA Women's League Cup, 7:45pm kickoff. And then next in WSL action next Sunday, the 28th of January, at home against Manchester City. That one will be played at Brisbane Road, 2pm kickoff. Now, my thoughts on everything in this episode. Let's start by talking about Antonio Nusa, because Spurs are doing a wonderful job of scouting every single top talent in Europe and around the world right now. Because, of course, look what we've done in the past couple of years with the likes of Papa Matasar and Destiny Udogie. Of course, both of them went out on loan when we signed them. And Spurs are just on the lookout now for every single top player. The scouting system is absolutely top notch. The recruitment system at the moment at the football club is absolutely top draw, and long may this continue, because we're signing very, very exciting players and players for the future. Ange Postecoglou is building something extremely special. I don't want to keep repeating myself by saying this sort of stuff, but it is true. And when you look back in recent years, the recruitment has been very poor. We've made very bad decisions. Of course, the likes of Tongion Ndombele, I know I always bring him up, but a record signing. People always say about spending, big money, big chunks of money to bring in top players. It's not always the way. It's about the recruitment process. It is about the scouting system, and Spurs seem to be bang on it right now. Of course, with Antonio Nusa, because he is a top player, 18-year-old winger, he's a top talent. Every single club around Europe, the top clubs, are interested in signing him at the moment. If Spurs can get this deal done, I think it's going to be very, very exciting. Now, Juventus are still interested in Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. I think I've said this on this channel a number of times. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, I think, needs a fresh challenge. He's not the sort of player to fit into Ange Postecoglou's system, although whenever he has come in, he has done a superb job for Ange. He's done exactly what Ange has asked. Perhaps hasn't got the ability that Ange Postecoglou wants in this system, but certainly is professional when called upon. I actually hope that Pierre-Emile Højbjerg gets the move that he wants and desires, because he obviously wants to move on. You can tell by the body language that he doesn't want to be at the football club anymore. And sometimes, no matter what job you're in, sometimes people just need a fresh challenge. And sometimes, when new bosses come in, people just want to go their separate ways, and I think that this is one of those. Same really with Sessegnon and Bryan Gil. I think that both of them are going to get very, very limited game time under Postecoglou. But it's not for me to say. It's not for any of the viewers or listeners to say about what players we want. It's all about what Ange wants. I'm just saying what I feel that what I think Ange wants. Sessegnon, I think, has had big problems with injuries, which have been a big shame. Bryan Gil, of course, he's gone out on loan a fair few times. He's come back. He's played under different managers. Hasn't been given a real run in the team. Whenever he has had the opportunity, he's done okay. I know a lot of people talk about his physique and his build. I think that if he was to leave the football club, I think that he's probably got to leave on a permanent deal this time, and sometimes you just got to say that, sometimes it don't work out, sometimes it does. And I think that under this scouting system at the moment, and under this recruitment team, it seems that, we're bang on it. And I think that, with them talking to the head coach, Ange Postecoglou, and them all working together, I think there's a real identity about what players we want. Bryan Gil, when he came into the football club, perhaps he was going to be one of those players for the future. And he was one of the wonder kids, one of the European wonder kids. I've absolutely no doubt that Bryan Gil will have a good career. It's probably just not going to be at Tottenham. Another really interesting one is the bid from Al Nassr for Emerson Royal. Spurs rejected the bid, didn't go back to the Saudi club with a counter offer. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens next, whether they put a bid in to Tottenham, which Spurs simply cannot turn down. But Emerson Royal, I think he's had a tough time at Spurs, certainly when he signed. I remember his debut against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. And he had a tough time at the start. He supposedly spent all of this money trying to improve himself and him as a player on and off the pitch. And there has been certain improvements, a lot of improvement actually, under Ange Postecoglou. But will Tottenham Hotspur cash in on him? I'm sure that will be, again, down to the player and, of course, what the manager wants. It is all about what the manager wants. I do think it's so funny how when you see on social media, and, of course, when you've got the likes of me and all of the viewers saying, I don't want him, and I don't want him, and I don't want him, and, let's sign them. It's never about what we want. It's about what the head coach wants, and rightly so. They're paid to do a very, very difficult job, and it's their job to improve this football club, improve the starting 11, improve the squad, and provide success for us fans to obviously be extremely happy with, and put trophies in the cabinet eventually. But if Ange Postecoglou believes that he can bring in a better right back or defender than Emerson Royal, and he wants to change things up and change that squad a little bit more, because let's face it, this rebuild has been pretty huge. I have been extremely surprised. I think everyone at the football club, I think everyone connected to the football club, the fans, I think that everyone has been surprised on how much he has actually shaken things up in 2 transfer windows. And of course, when I say 2 transfer windows, early on in both transfer windows as well. It's the way that we've done it. It has been really, really impressive. Another player that could head out the door on a permanent deal is Joe Rodon. And, you know, another player, I don't think he's going to ever play in a Tottenham Hotspur shirt again. So, you know, any money that Spurs can get for Joe Rodon, you know, in the summer, I think that would be very welcome. And obviously wish him all of the very best. I think it's going to be another signing that hasn't really worked out at the football club. Sandro and Gomez on Richarlison, completely agree with them on the season so far. Of course, it's been great. After the Liverpool game on Sunday, of course, Spurs are now 8 points away from top spot. Liverpool have only lost one game, which, of course, that game was against us at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium with that VAR decision. But Sandro and Gomez on Richarlison, completely agree with them. I think Richarlison is a completely different player. I know he still gets a lot of criticism, but he is a much better player than what we saw, say, last season, or a player under Antonio Conte. Of course, he's had his operation, he's had his injury problems, he's had mental health issues as well, which hopefully he's overcome, you know, all of those difficulties now, and hopefully we will see him continue to be banging in the goals. You know, another fantastic goal at Old Trafford last weekend, you know, superb finish, and, you know, let's hope that we see this Richarlison from now until the end of the season, the Richarlison that we've seen in the last 6 games. 6 goals in the last 6 games, which is absolutely fantastic. And the Spurs women had a terrific result on Sunday evening, beating West Ham United 4-3 at Dagenham. The Spurs women remain 6th in the WSL table, 7 points away from top 3 now, which of course are the Champions League spots. But Robert Villahamn, it's funny because it went to 3-3 and Robert Villahamn is still going attacking and still putting on, or even 4-3 should I say, still putting on attacking players. And I absolutely love the way that the Spurs women have played this season under Robert Villahamn. It is so similar to how we see Ange Postecoglou set up, entertaining and goals. Long may this continue. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Enjoy your week. I'll see you on the next one. Come on, you Spurs.